Another trading day, and here we are at the London session open. Taking a look at the charts, the sweep that we planned yesterday has already happened. There was a good reversal from here yesterday, I think at the night here. So we could not enter the trade, but it was a really good trade. There was quite some movement. Right now, the price has actually come back into the zone, and then now it's consolidating or slowly drifting downwards on MNQ. The same story on MES as well. So at the moment, we don't have a trade. We're still waiting for an opportunity, and we have around 21 minutes for the market, London market to open. So I'm not expecting any movement before that. Yeah, but if something happens that is interesting to our setup, we might enter into a trade. Right now, we will look at this particular liquidity zone for price to tap in reverse. On the downside, yeah, I do not see anything in particular. Uh, might have to come way down here, or there is something here, but this is on the upside because this was a really good movement from here. So this is a minor, not like a 15-minute swing high, but a small pivot point like this one uh, could present us with a really good opportunity. So I might take a trade when price sweeps here based on the reaction after the sweep. So we will take a look at that as well. So let's see what happens. Do we have a similar zone on MES? Let me just take a quick look. Yes, we do have one. So I'll mark that point as well. So it's here. Okay. The movement towards the upside right now is quite violent and volatile. So I'm not very confident on taking a downside trade after the sweep. But let's see the reaction. That is what matters. That is what is going to give us the most information. So yeah, that's how we decide. We have only 1.5 weeks left, and we have to get to a profit of like 1,500, and we are already $800 down. So technically, we have to make a profit of 2.3K. If I assume we get really good trades, that's like three exceptional trades that we need, and it's going to be really tough. First of all, to get back from this level is very difficult, and after that, we have to get to a really good profit amount. So it's going to be tough, but we are going to give our best. Let's see. Yeah, okay, price has slowed down from here. Not exactly sure if it's going to shoot up or come down from here itself. Then our sweep setup might not work. So it might actually start going down from here based off the FEG. Both are like really good FEGs if you see here. The bearish candles, both are really good FEGs. Okay, it has slowed down. I'm just thinking how I'll get back the account to 1.5k profit. It's going to be tough, man. But after starting trading the London session, life has been quite peaceful. When I was trading the US markets, I had my work commitments as well, and it was clashing with it, and I had to work on the side and take a trade and stream at the same time. So it was becoming a bit hectic. But now it's so calm and peaceful. I can focus only on the trade. I can look at the charts all the time. I don't have to get distracted or answer anyone during my trades. And I don't feel anxious at my work schedule as well because trading's already done and I'm fully on to work. So I think it was one of the best decisions. Although I think I might miss out a bit of the volatility during the New York Open because the London session is not that volatile. So that's miss out. But overall, I think it was a good trade-off. I think for a trader, his biggest asset is his mind, and switching to London session obviously helped me to protect my mind and this mental state that I'm in. Oh, oh. We might have to wait till the market open to see something happening here. I think I should add some music, some bit of music to the stream. Okay, looks like price is coming down. Uh, okay, so it's not going to take out this area. It might directly come down from here. In which case, the trade that we were waiting for will not happen. Might have to wait more for price to take out another liquidity zone. Something like this. This one looks pretty good on MES. And on MNQ, yeah, I don't know. Today's movement has been a bit slow. Of course, the Asian session is infamous for being low volume and slow, so nothing surprising there. It's supposed to be like that. I just marked this area. I'm not going to take a trade from there. It's not a proper zone for us. If anything, price could only crash down after taking out that area. I don't think it's going to reverse from there. Let's do one thing. Let's play a game of chess while things are unfolding. So I will just quickly pivot to a game of chess. Let's see. Let's play bullet as usual. Furkan the chess. This guy's from where? Turkey. Turkey guy. Okay, let's go. Develop. Looks like this guy knows some bit of opening because his moves are pretty standard. Okay, let's develop the knight. He has to take, I assume, or no, he does not have to. Okay, let's develop the bishop. Okay, let's force the bishop to take or go away. He takes. Let's castle our king to safety. Okay, we'll develop the rook. All right. Queen gets developed. Okay, subtle threat to take this pawn. He misses it. We'll take it. Let's develop this one. Our bishop might get trapped, but it's okay, I think. I would love to sacrifice my bishop for the pawns and to open up the king. Okay, but he doesn't let that happen. So I will do this and take out his bishop because it's a pretty strong bishop. Okay, he plays that. Hmm. Okay, we have to play fast. Okay, I will take it. There is a fork. We get a free rook. Actually, not free, but then an exchange. I have to play fast. I've been very slow. I don't know why. This game has been quite slow. Has to be faster. Yeah, it's too slow today. I don't know why. Yeah, we'll play one more game. I took a quick peek at the charts and nothing has moved. So we can continue with one more game, no problem. Uh-oh. Let's take the bishop. I'm playing a bit on muscle memory. I'm not consciously thinking. Was not in the mood at the moment. Oh, he noticed it. It's pretty serious about this game. Okay. Oh, what? That was a stupid move. Actually, it's a mouse slip, so I have some tricks in my hand. Let's see if those work. Thank you, it worked. It was a good game. No, I mean I played badly in the beginning, but then I had a trick up my sleeve and it worked. Let's go back to the charts, although nothing's happening because that is our priority. Yeah, price is just wobbling around that area. It's not making a decisive move to either side, so we'll have to wait. Yeah. Is there some background noise? I'm not sure. Think it's because of the fan. I'll just switch it off. Yeah, I think it was because of that. Yeah. I'm just trying to adjust the stat screen a bit more well. Right now it looks a bit off. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so let's go to the chart. It's being very choppy today. Market has opened and it's been 5 minutes, but the price is not moving. Price is not showing intent. What do we do now? Since we're still waiting, and I don't think anything magical is going to happen for the next 15-20 minutes as well, because price is just right in the middle of the range and doesn't look like it's going to move to either sides. And yeah, this is the thing about London session. In the New York session, price would have already traveled a lot by the first 5-6 minutes, but it has its downsides as well. Like if you're not able to predict to which side it's going to go. That is, if a sweep does not happen, then you might enter into a trade impulsively because the price moves so fast. Then you might get caught on the wrong side. That always happens in the New York sessions for many people. So it has its downside. Higher the volatility, higher the risk. After all, risk is just standard deviation, right? So the deviation during the New York markets are insane. Moves too many points. We'll do one thing. I wanted to research a bit on, I love researching on, human mind and mindset and psychology. I mean, I love researching in general. I can go into rabbit holes for a very long time. Like, I dive deep into so many topics, then come back after a very long time. So, we can take a look at MBTI because that is one of my favorite topics, and that is one of the topics that I intend to communicate in this particular channel. So, I was thinking about talking about NI, Introverted Intuition. I don't know how many people are aware of it, but Introverted Intuition is the top function of INTJs and INFJs, and it's in the second slot for ENTJs and ENFJs. It's a it's a mystical and magical function. I'll tell you that. It's a crazy function. NI, it's one of those functions that you will not even be able to relate to if you're not one of these types because it's such a singular and individual experience. You cannot simulate it in your brain. I'm an INTP, but still I can simulate how TE works. I can simulate TE in my mind. I can simulate FE in my mind. FI, understandable. But NI is one of those functions you won't be able to simulate or understand because it is even for these particular types who are dominant in NI, for them also, it's part of their subconscious. It's not even a conscious function for them. Their intuition is just so good that sometimes things just appear in their mind. They're not even conscious about how they got to there in the first place. So let's look at what NI is in the first place, so we can ask our dear Chat GPT. So I'll just type in what is introverted. NI is the short form for introverted intuition, by the way. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Yes. Introverted intuition is one of those mental processes that feels almost mystical from the inside, but under the hood, it's doing something very specific and very powerful. Think of NI as pattern compression over time. Oh, by the way, not sure if you guys can see it. Okay, I didn't switch the screen, right? So let's go. Yeah. Yeah, so what is introverted intuition? That is the full form for NI. Introverted intuition is one of those mental processes that feels almost mystical from the inside, but under the hood, it's doing something very specific and very powerful. Think of NI as pattern compression over time, not just spotting patterns, that is common, but distilling massive, messy reality into a single underlying trajectory or meaning. Yeah. So what NI does is actually take a lot of data. See, we none of us have a lack of data. We have so much information in our heads. We have so much memory, so much observed experiential information in our heads. But the thing is, most of us are not even conscious about it because it's stored in unconscious and subconscious parts of the brain, right? Because we cannot just recall any information that we want at any given time. So it's all stored in our minds. But what works in NI is that NI can compress these patterns and then form just one conclusion or one unifying theory from all those data that's saved in the backend. So it's magical that it can not be conscious about it, but subconsciously develop just one single vision or one future goal or a path based on all those stored information that is not conscious to you. That is the magic of NI. So let's continue. NI takes scattered information, past experiences, subtle cues, abstract ideas, and asks, what is this really pointing toward? It doesn't stay on the surface. It tries to collapse complexity into one core insight. Yeah. So you can think of NI as a kind of funnel. So it takes a lot of data in and then it funnels it in and then gets to the core principle or core insight from that particular set of huge data and has a single vision. So it's very focused on the insight. It's the opposite of NE, that is extroverted intuition. Intuition branches out. It just takes in one idea and then simulates multiple possibilities outward. So that is what ENFPs and ENTPs do majorly. So they can just take one idea and think about multiple ways in which it can unfold. That's why they're so creative because they can create out of just a single idea. But these guys, what they do is do the opposite. They take in a lot of data and even not fully conscious about it, they can develop a single theory or a great vision for the future from that huge data set. Yeah, where most people see many possibilities. That's for any dominance and any auxiliary people. NI sees one inevitable direction. Isn't that so beautiful? And it's not that this direction that they see is going to be 100% right because we are human beings. We make mistakes. But there is often a very high probability for NI to be very accurate because it's not based on just feels or, just emotional decisions. It's purely based on that huge data set at the back end. So it's coming from data. So that inevitable direction that they see is it has a high probability to be true, although not 100%. Might be close to let's say 70 or 80% because it's coming from true data. A concrete example. Imagine watching a person speak in a meeting. Most people notice what they say, some notice body language, NI does something stranger. It quietly integrates tone, word choice, timing, inconsistencies, past behavior, and suddenly produces a thought like, this person is going to betray the project in 3 months. No step by step reasoning, just a compressed conclusion. That's why NI users often say, I just know. It's not magic, it's unconscious pattern synthesis. Now, when a lot of people hear this, people are going to think, okay, they are just judging, they're so judgmental. But that's not true. See, you can when you think of judgment, what happens is usually we will have to travel to SE types for that. Or there are a lot of other FE types for that. But here what happens is not judgment. There is a set of data that's actually triggering this particular feeling or intuition inside them. It's not out of thin air or out of just gossip. It has some backing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's actually unconscious pattern synthesis. They're not able to derive, like how a TI brain, that is an INTP or ISTP, can step by step go back to their reasoning and understand where it came from. An INTJ or an INFJ or an NI auxiliary mind or type, cannot go back step by step and understand where that data or where that value or where that vision came from, because it's all unconscious or subconscious for them. But the data is there, the pattern has been formed from multiple variables, like how you can see here: tone, word choice, timing, inconsistencies, and past behavior. So this conclusion is formed from data. So if you are an INTJ or an INFJ, to understand this, or to know about, or now to be aware of this, would be feel magical, right? Because for me as an INTP, when I understood a part of my brain like this, how my cognitive functions are, it was the experience that I felt was actually transformational, because I was able to understand why I was thinking the way I am. So it's such a beautiful thing. And I think understanding NI, your first function, will help out a lot for INTJs and INFJs to understand themselves. It's such a magical function, and I'm quietly a little jealous of it because it's so beautiful and feels magical to know how it is and not experience it. Yeah. NI versus other intuitive styles. You as an INTP, ChatGPT already knows my type. That is why it's saying that. Use any extroverted intuition. Yeah, it's my second function. Yeah, which is almost the opposite beast. Any expands outward. What are all the possibilities? Ni converges inward. What is the one underlying truth? Any is like brainstorming 20 startup ideas. Ni is like picking one and saying, this is the one that will win. That is why when you look at NI dominance, they are usually very decisive. They know what exactly to do. They won't give 100 caveats when they're giving a solution. But if you look at any types, they'll give 100 or 50 caveats because they see all the possibilities, all the ways it can go wrong. The weird part, time distortion. NI is deeply tied to future projection. It doesn't just analyze the present, it simulates trajectories. So, an NI person might predict long term outcomes uncannily well, feel impatient with short term noise, seem detached from the present moment. They are mentally living a few steps ahead of reality. Yeah, now we can see some strengths of NI. When it's sharp, important distinction. When it's sharp, it can see long term consequences others miss, cut through noise and find the core truth, make decisions with eerie confidence, build powerful visions. The danger, and this matters, yep. And I can also hallucinate certainty. Yeah, if you're not matured, if you're not, balancing your top function, your second function, and your other functions well, if you're not a bit mature in life in general, yeah, it can ignore alternative possibilities. It can just fixate on one idea and have a tunnel vision, become overconfident in a single interpretation. Yeah, world is messy, right? Real world is messy, and anything can happen at any time. So if you're too fixated or hell bent on one idea, that might not actually help. That might bite. Yeah, that might bite you back. So that is there. Miss real world data that contradicts the vision. Yeah. So this is it. NI is brilliant when right and stubbornly wrong when wrong, and most of the time they're right. That's the thing about NI. Yeah. So that's the beauty of NI, and I think NI is what helps INTJs to be super good at trading. There are a lot of INTJs who are just extremely good at trading, and they become good really fast. It's like trading is one of those skill sets that are actually built for INTJs, because their top and the second function, Ni and T, absolutely makes them a beast in trading. I'm not I'm not trying to, be just theoretical. It's very commonly observed. I think I've seen a YouTube video where they've actually done a sample study on all MBTI personality types and who comes out on top on trading profitability. I think it was a study school, a trading school or something, and they could see that NT types, that is dash, NT dash, ENTJs, INTJs, these types tend to perform the best. So NT function has a big play there. I don't remember the exact video there. If I find it out, I'll put it out sometime. But yeah, that's the thing about NI. And the beauty of it is, I don't know if you've heard about this person. His name is Dario Nardi. Has done a study on NI. I mean, he has done a study, a test on all the cognitive functions, and he has found this fascinating thing about NI, which I will just type to ChatGPT and show you. Dario Nardi's result on NI. Yeah, yeah. So what he did is he didn't just ask people how they think. He wired them up with EEG and watched their brains in action. And NI did something odd. The headline: NI looks like whole brain synchronization. When people who strongly use NI, typically INTJs and INFJs, are engaged in their natural thinking mode, Nardi observed large regions of the brain lighting up in synchronized patterns. Not chaotic activity, not scattered spikes. More like the brain going into a unified, coherent state. He called this a kind of Zen-like or integrative state. What that actually means. Most thinking styles look like different brain regions firing for different tasks, step by step processing. NI doesn't do that as much. Instead, it pulls in many regions at once, integrates them simultaneously, produces a single distilled output. This maps perfectly to what NI feels like subjectively. I don't know how I got there, but I see it. Yeah, this is what a lot of NI types say because they just feel it. The famous AHA pattern. Nardi noticed that NI users often show periods of low visible activity, like nothing's happening, followed by a sudden global activation spike. That's your classic incubation to insight. Yeah. It's not linear reasoning, more like pattern crystallization. Yeah. You've probably seen this INTJ, INFJ just staring. Looks like nothing's happening. Yeah. Externally idle, internally integrating. It's not distraction, it's deep internal simulation. Yeah, now it's talking about me. Let's ignore that. Yeah. So that's a beautiful thing about NI. And I think if you're an INTJ or INFJ, learning more about your brain through this cognitive functions, it's one of I think it's a gift to humanity by Carl Jung. So Carl Jung is the person who wrote the book on personality, I mean the cognitive functions, and it's such a beautiful thing to look into if you are one of these types. It helps you understand yourself a lot better. Not to predict what another person would do, but to understand yourself, to look into yourself, to s- to know that you're not somebody built different. You're also one of the one of the types of how one of the ways in which human minds or human brain is wired. So you're not like an outcast. You're part of us. You're part of the, I mean, why am I saying us? Even INTPs are also often misunderstood. So, like, we are all part of the race of humanity. So it's such a nice thing to understand and know. Yeah. So go back to trading. We deviated a bit and we hit tangents. Let's go back to how our trading is looking. Ah, look at it. It's too slow, man. Nothing's happening. Price is very choppy. So I don't think nothing's going to happen today. So if something happens, I will update you on the next stream, although I know nobody's watching it. But I assume someday somebody will, right? Or if it doesn't, it's okay. It's just my trading journey that I'm capturing here so that I can come back and look into it and improve. So today I've exhibited some real good patience and not taken a trade because there is no setup. So I think I will stop it for now, and if something happens, I'll update you tomorrow. And we have to buckle our seatbelts and then, be a little alert and take some really good trades because if I have to save this account, I have to be really good from now on. Yeah. Okay.